Good evening once again to another session on human resource management from Naipunya Business School. Myself, Dr. Jacob PM, Director, Naipunya Business School, will be speaking from Human Resource Management, University of Calicut, Module 5, Part 6. Today, we will be discussing on Module 5, Compensation Management and Grievance Redressal, and this is the sixth part which deals with labor participation in management and workers' empowerment. I will also be discussing a little bit on employee welfare and occupational safety. So let us look at what is workers' participation in management. Workers' participation in management is an essential ingredient of industrial democracy. The term democracy is familiar to us. It is by the people, for the people. So here also in management, we describe that workers' participation is an ingredient of industrial democracy. Now, the concept of workers' participation in management is legally bound, especially through Article 43A of the Constitution of India, deals with participation of workers in management of industries and falls under Part 4 of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Workers' participation in management is a process by which subordinate employees, either individually or collectively, become involved in one or more aspects of organizational decision making within the enterprise in which they work. This is a definition given by Free Dictionary. Here it talks about employees coming together and they get involved in the decision making process of the organization. There are a lot of advantages that the management would generate with this collective organizational venture. You would find that there is a better democracy, there is a better participation in work, and definitely when these two things are there, productivity also goes on the higher side. So let us look at the definition of workers' participation in management. Now, the International Institute of Labor Studies has described workers' participation in management as resulting from the practices which increase the scope for employees' share of influence in decision making at different tiers of organizational hierarchy with concomitant assumption of responsibility. So it talks about employees influencing decision making, which leads to assumption of responsibility by the workers, and these two things can bring up better work performance from the employee side. The International Labour Organization also describes workers' participation as to cover all the terms of association of workers and their representatives with the decision making process ranging from the exchange of information, consultations, decisions, and negotiations to more institutionalized forms such as the presence of workers member on management or supervisory boards or even management by workers themselves. ILO also talks about decision making process where employees get involved, and they may involve right from information, collecting information, to possibly becoming even the management themselves. Now, Walpole also has given a definition where he says that participation in management gives the worker a sense of importance, pride, and accountability. It gives him the freedom of opportunity for self development, feeling of belongingness with a place of work, workmanship, and creativity. You would find that it is beautifully coined by Walpole, where he talks about the positive side. The employee feels important, The employee feels proud to work. The employee is accountable. The employee has got freedom of opportunity. The employee has got free feeling of belongingness, and thus he exhibits workmanship and creativity. Now, let us look at the objectives of workers' participation in management. The objectives of workers' participation in management are as follows. 1. To raise the level of motivation of workers by closer involvement. So, when the worker gets engaged with the participation, then definitely his motivation levels goes up. And when his motivation level goes up, you will find better involvement or better performance. To provide opportunity for expression, to provide a sense of importance to workers. The worker, if he is given the opportunity to express, he feels that he is listened to and he develops a sense of importance. To develop ties of understanding leading to better effort and harmony. He develops actually better understanding with the supervisors and managers, and there will be harmony prevailing in the organization. To act on a device to counterbalance powers of managers. Now, one advantage is that whatever the management wants to do it, they cannot do it because they have to discuss if workers' participation is there. Similarly, to act on a panacea for solving industrial relation problems. So, industrial relation strikes, all those things can be prevented if workers are informed as to what is the decision or their involvement in making decisions for the organization as far as the industry is concerned. Let us look at the purpose of workers' participation. The purpose of workers' participation is to reduce actually the resistance of towards change. Very often, employees always resist change, but in a technological situation, change is inevitable. So, workers' participation can actually reduce the resistance to change because they themselves take decisions. Workers' participation can encourage communication at all levels. Better communication, whatever type of communication, in all levels of management, that the communication will improve. Joint decision making ensures there will be minimum industrial conflict and economic growth can be free from distracting strife. So industrial conflict reduces, production increases, naturally the economic growth also increases. Workers' participation at the plant level can be seen as the first step to establishing democratic values in society at large. So when the workers' participation happens in the company, he takes his culture across to the community, and there also you would find that the workers' participation will lead to better democratic values. Now, according to Indian International Labour Organization, workers have ideas and we have to make use of them. Again, ILO says workers may work more intelligently if they are informed about the intention of the decisions that are taken in a participative atmosphere because workers will take the decision to themselves. As a result, they work more intelligently because it is their own decision and the decisions as well as the work will prevail in a participative atmosphere. What are the forms of participation as far as workers' participation management is concerned? The most important one that is found in majority of the organization is called as collective bargaining. Now, collective bargaining is actually a decision which is reached between the worker as well as the management with no external party intervention, especially on situations such as low wages, long hours of work, loss of incentive, and it offers an opportunity, a good opportunity or a good climate to discuss the employee issues or the workers' issues. Now, the advantage of collective bargaining is that It serves to bridge the emotional and physiological gulf between the workers and the employers through direct discussions without a third party. The second type of participation that you find here is work councils. Not very much prevalent in India. You would find that work councils are exclusive bodies of employees assigned for different functions of management of an enterprise. So there will be within the organization, there will be work councils, and they may have various functions also. Maybe sometimes appointment, promotion, salary, incentives, receiving information will be all done by work councils or small exclusive groups of employees within an organization. Third one, joint consultation model. Here, the management consults the workers before taking decisions. Joint decision model. In this form, both the workers and management jointly decide and execute a decision. For example, now we have a season of COVID. So many of the companies, management would have discussed with the employees and both of them would have jointly taken the decision. There is another model called as self-management or auto management. Auto management means entire organization is run by the workers. Especially you would find this in Yugoslavia. And this is called as self-management or auto management scheme. Sixth model is workers representation on the board, very prevalent in Kerala, where workers elect their representatives and send them to the board to participate in the decision making process. What are the levels of participation that is possible as far as workers are concerned? There are 5 levels of participation. The first level is information participation, or in other words, employees are able to receive information and they are free to express their views on matters of general economic importance. Here actually decision making is not there, only information is there and a feedback is collected from the workers. Second type of participation is consultative participation. Here workers are consulted on the matters of employee welfare such as work, safety and health. Now the next third level of type of participation is called as associative participation, where workers are under the moral obligation to accept and implement the unanimous decisions of the management. Here actually the workers do not have any say, they just have to implement the unanimous decisions of the management. Then the next type of levels of participation is administrative participation. Workers discharge managerial functions on decisions taken by the management, preferably for administration and implementation. So here also, workers, whatever management is whatever decision management has taken, that is implemented. But only thing is, it is usually managerial functions. Decisive participation, the highest level of participation where decisions are jointly taken on all matters relating to production, welfare, etc., called as decisive participation, which involves entire level of participation. So there are different types of participation ranging from informational to decisive. Now, what are the prerequisites for effective participation? Now, if at all you need to have any participation, there are certain prerequisites which are required. Let us look into that. There should be a strong democratic and representative unionism for the success of a participative management. So, union has to be there. It should be strong, democratic, and represents the workers. There should be mutually agreed and clearly formulated objectives for participation to succeed. Now, the workers should feel that there are certain agreed, mutually agreed, and clearly formulated objectives. There should be a feeling of participation at all levels. There should be effective consultation of the workers by the management. Both the management and the workers must have full faith in the soundness of the philosophy underlying the concept of labor participation. Both of them should believe the concept of labor participation. Till the participative structure is fully accepted by the parties, legislative support is necessary to ensure that rights of each other are recognized and protected. Till the time that it becomes a law or a rule, there should be actually legislative support to ensure that rights of each other are recognized and protected. Education and training make a significant contribution to the purposeful working of participative management. Forums of participation, areas of participation, guidelines for implementation of decisions should be, and the prompt follow-up action should be there for to have an effective participation between the workers as well as the managers. Now we go on to the next topic called as employee welfare. Now employee welfare is also a part of industrial relations, like what you have workers participation. Now let us look at what is employee welfare. Now all organizations usually provide employee welfare, especially to keep the motivation levels of employees quite high. And employee welfare schemes can be classified into two. One can be called as statutory and the other can be called as non-statutory. Statutory means by law and non-statutory means not by law. Now this particular welfare schemes, especially statutory, are mentioned in different legislations or rules or laws and regulations of the Indian Constitution, especially in the Factories Act, Dock Workers Act, Mines Act, etc. However, the non-statutory schemes differ from organization to organization and from industry to industry. So what are the statutory welfare benefits? Drinking water should be clean and hygienic. Facilities for sitting should be available, especially in factories. First aid appliances should be available and should be readily accessible. Latrines and urinals, sufficient number should be there, should be maintained clean and neat. Canteen facilities should be there and it should be hygienic and nutritious food should be provided. Spittoons should be provided at convenient places and the same are to be maintained in a hygienic condition. Lighting, proper and sufficient lights are to be provided for employees so that they can work safely during night shift. Washing places, adequate washing places such as bathrooms, wash basins should be maintained hygienically. Changing rooms, adequate changing rooms are to be provided for workers and there should be lockers also to keep their clothes and belongings. Restrooms, adequate number of restrooms should be provided to the workers and those things should be also hygienic. Maternity and adoption leave, especially women employees will have maternity or adoption leaves as well as now certain companies offer paternity leave also. Mediclaim insurance scheme, either in the form of an insurance or sometimes in the form of an Mediclaim allowance can be there. Sexual harassment policy also should be spoken or put up on the notice board for the workers to understand, and if there is any type of harassment it has to be reported also. Personal health care, flexi time, employment assistance programs and employee referral scheme are some of the non-statutory welfare benefits. Personal health care offers regular medical checkups. Flexi time gives actually a flexi time to employees to work with flexible working schedules. Employee assistance program like counseling or even mentoring or even other health awareness and all those type of programs can be there. Employee referral is basically recommending a person to the organization which also carries certain benefit to the employee. These are all but non-statutory, that means not actually protected by law. Occupational health and safety programs is a unique concept which has come up in organizations. Now, this concept lies on the fact that prevention is better than cure. As a result, organizations have started looking into how to prevent accidents in the workplace. So there are certain safety programs which are shared to employees, and training has been given on all these things. Let us look at what are the different types of features involved as far as safety programs are concerned. One, it includes the formation of a safety committee and participation by all departments within the company. Employees participate in safety decision and management carefully considers employee suggestions for improving safety. There are trainings which will communicate with multimedia, which include safety, lectures, films, posters, pamphlets, and computer presentations also, especially on different topics, right? Where examples are fire or maybe the use of electricity and power, all those things, how to use it and how to work without actually having any accidents. Similarly, there are incentives also to reinforce the safe behavior. And safety directors or safety committee regularly looks into self-inspection, accident research, and identifies why accidents occur and take decisions to see that they are prevented either by technology or by training. Now, the next topic we have is on workers' empowerment. Now, we have heard about the participation of workers in different levels of decision making. So, as compared to that, we have workers' empowerment also on the same note. What is empowerment? Empowerment is basically recognizing and releasing into the organization that people already have in their wealth of useful knowledge and internal motivation, where you try to empower people based on their skill, based on their trust, so that they become useful to the organization. There are different types of workers' empowerment methods are there. Some of them could be job enlargement or maybe job rotation. All these are methods, or career planning. They are all methods of workers' empowerment. However, workers' empowerment requires actually a careful study about the worker, about his plans, about his skills, and train him so that he becomes empowered to take over the reins of the organization and also empowered human being in the society. Now let us look at the stages of empowerment. Empowerment consists of 5 stages. In the first stage, it is diagnosis, identifying what is the feeling of powerlessness among employees. The next stage is to introduce empowering strategies like participative management, where the employee takes part in decision making, or it may be merit based systems and job enrichment. The third stage is to remove conditions of powerlessness and provide self efficacy information to make the employees feel confident, self assured, and hopeful of success, or otherwise called as giving opportunities to become on their own. The fourth stage is when a feeling of empowerment is generated. And in the fifth stage, empowerment involves deriving performance as an outcome of empowerment. Here you would find the employee becomes empowered and he starts contributing towards productivity and work performance. Now, let us look at the process of employee empowerment. One, defining company vision and goals, changing the management's perception, determining employee skills and talent, figuring out the impact of employee's decision on whether he is ready to change or not, building up a team, sharing complete information on what is the type of empowerment that they would be getting, training and guidance, convey expectations from the team, and share feedback also. Now, what are the different types of employee empowerment? Skill development, growth opportunities, goals and vision, underlining the significance of employee task and how they would be able to do it better, delegation of authority with responsibility, especially cases like job rotation, specifying guidelines, provide guidance and support, constant review and feedback, and performance recognition and reward. What are the benefits of employee empowerment to the organization? Employee empowerment brings optimum utilization of human resource, or in other words, it uses actually it fulfills the philosophy of human resource. Higher customer satisfaction, fulfills organization vision or promoters vision, increase productivity, enhances quality, reduces time and cost, and requires less supervision. What are the benefits of employee empowerment to employee themselves? Improves their creativity, boosts self-confidence and morale, makes employees self-dependent, higher job satisfaction, polishing skill and competency. However, there are drawbacks of employee empowerment also. One, lack of expertise. It has to be carefully chosen. Otherwise, onto which area the employee has to change. Otherwise, it may not work. Sometimes even supervisors also may not have expertise to guide the employee. Misuse of power. If the employee is given opportunity to take decisions, he may misuse that, or he may uh, speak about the decisions before comes official. Security issues are there because these employees were selected for empowerment may be given certain important designations, and the lack of security can also happen during that time. Negative attitude of employees not to change, lack of supervisor support are some of the drawbacks of employee empowerment. So thank you very much for being with me on completing module 5 part 6, and with this the syllabus of human resource management also comes to an end. I am thankful to all of you for being with me in this journey of teaching and learning human resource management, University of Calicut. Thank you all.